Let's run through the headlines and tell you what's going on across Northeast Arkansas, starting out with a robbery that happened Sunday in Jonesboro at a gas station where a gas station cashier was robbed at gunpoint and then hit in the face with a pistol whipped. That was Sunday morning, and it was at the Gas Express at 2920 East Highland Drive. It was really early, too, 5 a.m., when patrol officers responded to the call. They heard that it was a robbery over the radio and arrived at the scene. When they spoke with an employee that said the subject had come to business, pointed a handgun at him, and demanded money. The suspect apparently then struck the employee in the head with the handgun, causing an injury to the point that they actually had to be treated and receive medical care, taken to a local hospital for the injury. We don't know how much, but there was money taken from the business, along with evidence that was collected at the business, but that was collected by authorities. The question is there some piece of evidence that you may have that could assist authorities in finding out who did this? It was a robbery 5 a.m. Sunday, and if you can help police, 870-935-5657, or remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers at 870-935-STOP. First, on the NEA report, we've been able to confirm that Godse's Grill in downtown Jonesboro is closing this week. As a matter of fact, if you want to enjoy some of the food, at least at the downtown location, you only have a couple of days left. Wednesday is the last day for business at the Main Street location. That was confirmed by the administrative assistant for Junior Fowler Investments and Godse's, Angie Hemphill, whom I spoke with earlier today. She said that downtown location is closing, but here's the good news. Call it silver lining, if you will. Nobody losing a job. They're being invited to join the staff at the other Godse's location in Jonesboro, that being at Hilltop. So you're still going to be able to go to Godse's, but just not in downtown anymore. Management plans to focus on building business for that location on East Johnson Avenue, they told me. They said that they're inviting everybody. The menu's the same, the drink's the same, everything's the same. Apparently, even the staff's going to be the same. However, for many people who have gone downtown, Godse's a staple for many years that will close on Wednesday. Now let's talk about today's top story, a tragedy that happened at PetSmart Sunday in Jonesboro, and questions about what happened and the story that store management gave the dog's owner. The dog we're talking about is a 10-month-old long-haired Dachshund named Ziggy, a dog that was due for a bit of a haircut. A dog that 2 hours after was dropped off had to go to a veterinary hospital for emergency surgery because a giant strip had been either cut or torn out of the entire back of the dog. We're going to show you these photos here in a few moments, and they're terribly graphic. They're also in the story at neareport.com. It's our top story today, and the traffic suggests it may be the top story for more than 1 or 2 days, too. It's clearly something that's disturbed a lot of folks. So I just want to urge caution before we get into that. If you're squeamish about images, please don't say I didn't warn you. So I had a chance to speak with the dog's owner yesterday, and just a few hours after all of this began to unfold. Before I do that, I want to show you the dog. You're looking at a photo of the dog Ziggy, a 10-month-old dog, a miniature Dachshund, long-haired, that, well, it was due for a little bit of a trim. Not a full haircut, mind you, but just a little bit of trimming. And so the dog's owner, Caitlin Weatherford, took it to the PetSmart in Jonesboro, and the story went terribly wrong there. Caitlin's on the phone with us right now to talk a little bit more about this on a difficult day. And thank you for taking a couple of seconds to talk to us. And I'm so sorry, first of all, for what you've had to go through today and your dog. I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been horrible.
You dropped the dog off for a haircut. What time would you say that was when that happened?
His appointment was for 1 o'clock.
So what time did you get back?
They called us at around 3, and on the phone they seemed really happy. They said that Ziggy was ready to get picked up.
They seemed happy.
Yeah, like there was nothing in their voice indicating that something has happened to him.
So you arrive, but you get there, and there's a sign as before you even get in the store that there's something off, isn't there?
Yes, sir. The girl that was supposed to be grooming our dog, she was outside talking on her cell phone, crying hysterically, and she greeted us as we were coming in. and she asked us if we were the owners of the dachshund, and I told her yes. And then she said that there was a terrible accident, and then she pointed us to her manager.
When you got inside and talked to the manager, you've already got to be, I mean, beginning to panic.
Yes, yeah.
And what does that conversation go like?
He was trying to explain to us that there was an incident, a Great Dane jumped up while Ziggy was being groomed and bit him, and that just trying to smooth it over the best that he could.
While we're
But
talking,
he was also referring to Ziggy as a she,
I
so
see.
that just indicated that he clearly had no idea what was going on.
I see. While we're talking here, I want to give everybody a bit of a warning because I'm going to begin showing some of the photos that you've shared now that we're at that point in the story where this terrible, horrible incident is not just it's happened, but now you've seen it. And so we're going to put those up again. Caution anybody watching; these are graphic, and you will want to at least turn away if you can, if you wish to continue listening. So, Caitlin, I'm pulling those up now, and one of the first photos is you said that you're told a Great Dane did
Yes,
this.
sir.
Tell me, before I ask any other questions, what were your reactions when you saw this on this dog?
Well, initially they weren't going to let me see it. He was in a cage, and they were saying that they were about to take him to the vet, and I actually didn't get to see it until we got to the vet, and I was sitting in front of the cage that he was in. So I didn't get to see it at PetSmart, but the owner said that it was a superficial wound and that he was going to be okay.
The manager said that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
A superficial wound.
yes.
We're looking right now, all of us here on NEA report at the superficial wound. You were told this was caused by a Great Dane,
Yes, sir.
and did he say that the Great Dane used clippers or had learned to use clippers? Because this appears to be. I mean, I'm sorry for my, my method of kind of bringing this up and just pointing out the obvious, but I'm going to zoom in here for our viewers live. There's no bite marks, right? Like, did you see any bite
No.
marks?
No, I did not see any bite marks. Where the skin was beginning to flat back, there was some type of injury, it looked like, but it didn't look like a bite mark at all. It looked like, I can't even describe it, but it did not look like a bite mark.
And I've noticed the comments. You're getting a lot of comments on this, and they are universally from people saying that this does not look like a dog bite. This looks like shears that
Yes, sir.
have cut the dog. I'm objectively looking at this. This is the exact same width. It looks like from the beginning of the cut to the end. Is that incorrect, or because you saw it better than we did?
Yeah, this skin was just completely flapped back, and it was like a clean line pretty much. And that's why I just really don't believe that a dog bit him.
How far? It looks like in this it goes almost halfway around the poor dog.
Yeah, it's on his complete upper half of his back.
So, I mean, okay. And you said that the manager told you that this was done by a Great Dane.
Yes, sir.
Just going to ask you, do you believe that?
No, I do not, because there was no owners there for the Great Dane. The Great Dane was nowhere to be seen. I really don't believe that a dog did this. Because if a Great Dane did it, he's so much bigger than Ziggy. There would be a lot more damage or bite marks or tears.
And you said there was no Great Dane there when you were there. You arrived just a couple of hours later. Was there any? Did you? I mean, you may not have seen when you got there. Did you see any?
No, no. They didn't try to tell us the owner's name or anything. And I just figured that if someone knew that their dog did that, they would have reached out and apologized for it. But I mean, no one has said anything about it.
So, did PetSmart offer to help with the vet costs?
Yeah, they said that they were going to cover all costs of the vet.
Gosh, and what did the veterinarian tell you whenever you got the Ziggy to the hospital?
Well, I asked her what she thought happened to it, and she wasn't completely sure. She said she could see that it could have been a bite, but she wasn't completely sure just because of how clean it was and how much skin was just missing from one part of it. We don't really know.
Yeah. What type of procedure will Ziggy have to go through now?
He's actually still in surgery. She wasn't sure what she could do. She was going to try to stitch up what she could, but she said some of the skin probably couldn't be saved.
Gosh.
And he's going to be there for 3 to 5 days.
What did Ziggy seem like whenever you first saw him?
He just seemed really scared. He was trying to stand up and kind of walk around some, and he could, but he was shaking, and his little eyes were just bloodshot.
Do you feel like that PetSmart handled this appropriately?
No, I do not. I think that they should have called me as soon as it happened, not waited, and then on the phone told me that he was ready to be picked up with no indication that something had happened.
How do you feel as far as when you saw this? I mean, you said the dog's just 10 months old. It's clearly your baby.
Yeah, I didn't even know what to think. It was so scary just because he's such a small dog. I really don't see how it could have happened like this because we had no idea that he could be in any type of trouble being somewhere like that where they're supposed to be watching the dogs and it's supposed to be a safe place, I thought.
And you found out that it was anything but, at least today.
Yes, sir.
That's a tragedy. What would you like to see PetSmart do? I know I'm waiting for a comment back from them. Hopefully, by the time we put our reports together, we'll have that. What could they do to help fix this?
I just want the groomer to take ownership for it if she did do it. Because we don't deserve to be lied to. That's our baby. And it's just crazy that this even happened.
Do you think they should release the security footage?
Yes, I really need to see the video surveillance of it.
We've requested that, and we will obviously post that and bring that along if that is a request that is met. Caitlin, I'm very sorry to have to speak to you under these circumstances, and I hope you will keep us updated on how Ziggy is doing, and we hope for as pain-free of a recovery as possible. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So as you could tell, we recorded that interview late last night with the dog's owner. Of course, we're back here live with you now. We did get a statement from PetSmart. I'll read that to you in a second, but first and foremost, I want to update you on Ziggy's condition because Ziggy did get out of surgery last night, and despite this horrendous and graphic wound that we all saw just a few moments ago, Ziggy's on the mend and is apparently recovering. But it's not going to be before at least 2 or 3 days in the veterinary hospital are spent for this poor animal who's not just recovering from horrible physical wounds, but from mental scarring that this dog will never get over and will always be terrified now to I'm presuming the dog will never be taken back to PetSmart again, but if it was, can you imagine how bad it would freak out the moment they brought it in? The dog itself traumatized, the family traumatized. A statement from PetSmart says, quote, "The safety of the pets in our care is always our top priority, and an internal investigation is underway to help us better understand what led to this unfortunate incident." That's from PetSmart Senior Corporate Communications Manager Erin Gray. She said, quote, "We will continue to stay in close contact with the pet parent and wish Ziggy a speedy recovery. We've officially requested from PetSmart that they release the security footage or any internal video footage that depicted or showed the incident or the reaction to the incident. We want to know what happened, and we don't just want to hear it, we would like to actually see it with our own eyes." That's a request that Caitlin Weatherford herself made, and one that we're going to carry for her to the company, PetSmart, because despite what happened, and despite the fact that it does appear to be a horrible freak accident, despite that, we will never know for sure until we see. And even then, the questions that Weatherford has about how that her 10-month-old dog, an 11-pound puppy, was allowed to be in an unsecured area, allegedly, with a Great Dane that just about ripped it in half.
Family Medical Clinic of Walnut Ridge and Bono are your neighborhood healthcare providers, and we're now accepting new patients. We know you have a tight schedule, so we're here 6 days a week at both locations from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. In Walnut Ridge, stop by 1045 West Main Street or call us to make an appointment, 886-8300. In Bono, we're on Highway 63 North or call 930-9990. Walnut Ridge Family Medical Clinic and Bono Family Medical Clinic, here for you when you need us.
Haley Norris, realtor. Should I make my hair go like this? Whether you need to buy, sell, or lease. Haley, can I use my hands? Or is that, where are my hands? Where do they go?
Just say
Haley.
Just say Haley.
Whether you need my expertise. Haley Norris, realtor. Or even do a commercial lease. Haley Norris, realtor. Should I say Remax Real Estate Center or no? Is that too salesy?
No, that's good.
My average days on market is just 50 days. You need my expertise. And that means I'm putting more money back in your pocket.
It's time for us to take a look at your new Wave Wireless Weather, home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. And it was a much cooler day today than we've seen over the past weeks. And in fact, we didn't even have that nasty heat advisory to tell you about today. In fact, only 82 degrees outside right now, as today's high was not set to be above 87. Now, quite obviously, not going to be 87 tonight. Tonight, going to be 69 degrees, mostly clear skies out there. For your Tuesday, should be sunny with a high around 91. 92 on Wednesday, 92 on Thursday, and 90 on Friday, but maybe a few clouds, maybe even a few showers and thunderstorms popping up. It's a slight chance, 20% is what they're calling for right now. But the Weather Service is expecting the weekend to come with a lot of precipitation. They're saying Friday night, Saturday, and into Sunday. The rain chances just continue to improve with each day, up to about 50% by the time Sunday rolls around. But as I mentioned in Jonesboro, it's been a weird day. Mostly cloudy skies, and almost looked like it was going to rain all day, even though it didn't. And as I said, about 82 degrees outside right now. So before we finish up here tonight on NEA Report, I wanted to come back because I noticed a few people in chat that were talking about legal action. And that brought up a point that I had actually raised with a few attorney friends of mine. And of course, I would love to find out that they were wrong about this, but apparently legal action against a company over a pet is one of those issues that's almost impossible to bring because you can only seek the cost of the pet. That's what I was told by an attorney in Jonesboro. I don't want to quote him because I didn't ask him if I could, but somebody that's very reputable, you would all trust if I told you who it was. And he told me that legal action as far as civil action because of a pet injury would likely only be able to result in a recovery of the cost of the dog. Clearly, that's unfair, and it's sad to hear that being the case. But on the same side, I wanted to bring that up and mention that to everybody in chat, because I've seen a lot of folks saying I would get a lawyer, and that's the first thing that this young lady considered, and I'm sure she still is, and will consult still with expert legal advice. But the moment beforehand, I wanted to know was can anything be done? And unfortunately, the answer I received was not the answer that a lot of us would want to know. Apparently, legally, not much can be done in terms of damages except for what the cost of the dog would be. However, what can be done is what's happening here, which is the court of public opinion. And of course, all of you watching here on NEA Report that have liked and shared this video have helped us to spread it and show it to more people. And quite obviously, this may bring about a sense of justice. This may bring about a sense of change, or at least safety protocols. Perhaps this can prevent this from happening to someone else. Maybe this can just prevent these same accidents from happening at the store that now realizes a little too late that they should have better safety procedures in place. Perhaps that's what comes of this. Perhaps nothing does. We don't know. That's all speculation. But as all of us who are here watching the news, as myself, the news broadcaster, the person that tries to man this ship every day, my goal, and what I hope is through that your goal too, is to build and to affect change, positive change in our community. Whether we're questioning government officials that seem to have a hard time admitting to making mistakes, or in this case, a private company that, well, something terrible happened at. Nonetheless, whichever it is, our job here is to question those people who tell us things and to hopefully encourage positive changes. And in this case, we most definitely want to see that happen. I'm going to be following up with PetSmart. I've already sent them another email today. I haven't, at least as I was starting the show here, I didn't have an email response back from the person that I had spoken with. But I'm going to update everybody on this case as it continues going forward. I was getting ready for the show. I saw KIT also covered it, which is good. We did first, but that's okay. But we're going to bring you more about this just as it continues to unfold here, and hopefully we will be able to get that video. I think we should all be able to see what happened in that store and how this happened, and make decisions based on that. And I think some of us should probably make decisions based on what we already know. That's going to do it for us today on NEA Report. One final check of your 5-day forecast coming at you right now, courtesy of our friends at New Wave Wireless. Let's show you what that looks like. It's a cooler day today for us. It's unfortunately going to be a little bit warmer over the next day or two, but it's hopefully still going to be just south of that super hot territory where we were seeing all of those crazy heat advisories. No heat advisories for us today. A little bit of a nice reprieve. Expect the low tonight to be around 69, 91 tomorrow, and rain chances on the way this weekend. I'm Stan Morris, and you're up to date. Thank you for liking and sharing and supporting NEA Report. Please follow us and subscribe on YouTube, and have a great afternoon.